Welcome to Massive Beers. My name is Matt. We do the echoey beer stuff here. Pilsner time. Anchorage Brewing Pilsner time, courtesy of my boy Keith. This is their end of line Pilsner. As you can see there, very expensive Pilsner. Keith, I want to say, paid north of $20 for this 4-pack, so that's bonkers talk. But it's Anchorage. We're here in Pennsylvania. They kind of get a bunch of their pub with their mixed culture stuff and their barrel aged stuff. But this is a Pilsner brewed and dry hopped with Strata hops and Phantasm powder. Say what? 3.5% alcohol by volume. That is what I'm talking about right there. Come on, focus. Get it there. Over there. Oh, close enough. I'm using this remote app where I can actually see myself. There we go. But it's backwards. You know when you can try to cut your hair in the mirror and your hand goes the wrong way? That's what I'm talking about. So we'll see what's what. That's all I got on here. Label-wise, this is really cool. It's just got this like creepy kind of like Metro, what is it, 3035, 33305, something like that. 223, Metro 2033. There you go. Kind of vibe going on with it, so I dig it. So we'll see what's what. We're in the shed, still working. It should be way ahead of the schedule, but we are in the final stages of doing like the last little bits and pieces of mudding. So everything's pretty much like sanded and ready to be primed, but there's a couple things you don't see over there. There's like windows and doors over here. That looks like a nice unfiltered kind of well, pale jammer. Again, keep in mind during this review, 3.5%. We're back here, and if you can see this back right up here, this little thing I got going on up here, there's like a shelf over there. You probably can't make it out in the camera. Like the wall goes up and then over, and then the roof kind of climbs. I wanted to put a shelf up there, like a little wooden shelf, sticking about that much, where I put little things, but also have like LED lights embedded in there, so it looks kind of cool. So I had to finish that like a corner because at eye level you can see underneath it. So I couldn't just like hide it like you do in like a whatever. So that's what I'm basically doing today, is finishing up the edging on that, and then we'll prime and paint. So yeah, it looks the part of a soft kind of unfiltered kind of Pilsner. So it definitely looks pretty. Let's get a nose. Man, that is vibrant. Comes off way more like a hazy pale ale kind of nose on it, or a new school kind of pale ale nose. Big, huge, juicy hops, leaning heavily in the citrus area. Multiple levels of citrus here. You're getting like orange and kumquat and grapefruit and even like a lemon lime kind of thing. It's very, very bright, very, very citrus laden. There's a soft rindiness, perception of some bittering in there. And it comes off like it's going to be a nice kind of sweet, quick, clean, snappy, big citrus bomb of a Pilsner. So let's dive in. Cheers, y'all. That's delicious. I mean, it's way more bitter than you thought it would be based off of the nose. Again, not that you can smell bittering with the nose, but you get these kind of perception of bitterness. And I thought it was going to be a little bit lighter, but it actually has a decent kind of Czech level Pilsner bitterness, even bigger than that, to be honest with you. That citrus juiciness, that citrus boldness that's there in the nose follows through absolutely 100% in taste. But when you combine it with that bittering from the hops, and you combine that kind of rindiness from those hops, you get this kind of like real fresh squeeze kind of juicy pulpiness to it, which is really, really cool. Not overly sweet enough. I want to say this is a little warmer than it should be, but I mean, I pulled it out of my fridge and it was probably like 40 and change. But honestly, it's a really drinkable, really chuggable, really bright, explosive kind of Pilsner. I mean, that gratuitous amount of dry hopping with both the hops and that kind of that keefy powdering that they're talking about is definitely showing through here. It's probably one of the most hop forward Pilsners I've ever had, and it works really, really nice in this beer. It comes off as a little bit more hefty of a Pilsner. Again, want to rewind here. Keep in mind, 3.5%, but it comes off as like a bit more heftier of a Pilsner with how snappy that hop is, with how citrusy that hop is, with how forward bittering it is. But you're talking about 3.5%. This is by far and away one of the more explosive / aggressive beers that I have ever had at sub 5, let alone sub 4% level. I think this is absolutely fantastic. $20. That's crazy talk. I'm sure at the brewery it's much, much cheaper. Let's put it this way. If this is like $14 4-pack, I'd be cool with it. And usually Pilsners, I kind of get all antsy in my pantsy and angry about that. But man, this is just as an explosive hot delivery system. And that's the thing. Is it one of the better Pilsners, one of the better lagers that I've had as of late? I'd still put it up there, but that's not why it's good, because it's a Pilsner lager. It comes off very much more as an aggressive, big, bold kind of pale ale in a very, very fun way. And that's where this one kind of lands for me, and that's where this one kind of shines. Super tasty, super explosive, super drinkable. Thank you very much, Keith. Honestly, one of the better like hop forward offerings I've had. It still would be in the Pilsner kind of a lager territory in the conversation, but it's a higher elevated offering in the hoppy selection, more specifically to sub 5%. Sub 4%, it is probably one of the first faces on Mount Rushmore. It's still up there on sub 5%. And just one of the more just great, delicious hoppy offerings I've had as of late. Oh, sun's creeping right in my eyeballs. So there you go. Now, I'm not sure what else to say other than Anchorage. Have you been to the brewery? Let's talk about them. Have you had a bunch of their boutique beers, Dance Deal with the Devil, those kind of beers? Have you had some of their more smaller offerings? Have you had this particular beer in general? There's no date code on this that I can see, so I'm not quite sure when this was produced, but have you had this beer before? And if you had, what did you think? So there you go. Little She Shed massive home base review in the books. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Hopefully you're enjoying some good beer. Happy New Year. We'll see you next time. Cheers, y'all.